Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing the CR-1 and the IR-1 immigrant spouse visa. We're discussing this in the context of someone who's married to a United States citizen or lawful permanent resident. And we're discussing the back end of the process, as I call it, the National Visa Center processing phase, as well as the U.S. Embassy processing phase abroad. And the long story short with respect to this video is, unlike the K visas, the immigrant visas, there's a rather lengthy process of getting documentation into the online system at the National Visa Center. And then on top of that, personnel at the National Visa Center sort of pre-adjudicate, in my opinion they shouldn't be, but they sort of pre-adjudicate the documentation associated with an immigrant spouse visa case before that case can ever even get on file at the embassy and get an interview. And for this reason, I generally see less 221Gs in, and for clarification, a 221G it's a refusal pending further documentation that's issued by an embassy or consulate abroad after an interview for a visa, where they say, hey, look, everything looks all right, but we need something else, or we need clarification on some issue. And under those circumstances, they'll issue this document, and then you clarify or you fix whatever the issue is, and generally speaking, they issue the visa. Folks don't like seeing these. You know, they hope that the interview is the end of the road, and as we've done videos on that, it may not necessarily be the case. You may have to deal with some further follow-up, sort of tie some loose ends up, and move forward. Generally speaking, though, in immigrant spousal visa cases, we see less 221Gs, in my opinion, because you're front-loading all of this stuff with the National Visa Center. That's not necessarily a good thing. National Visa Center, in my opinion, could do things a lot better. I don't particularly like the CX system. I don't particularly like their digital platforms. I think it's rather clunky. And frankly, in cases that, you know, in the past when it was on paper, cases that had some exigent circumstances in them or had some extraneous circumstances, just sort of non-routine matters, it could be dealt with on paper. Nothing else, you can put a cover letter on it and explain what's going on. You know, with a digital system, it wants everything to be shoehorned into that digital format, and sometimes you've got a case that's a square peg trying to go into a round hole. I'm not a huge fan of NVC. That said, I will give it credit that we do generally see less 221Gs in IR-1 and CR-1 visas compared to 221Gs in K-1 and K-3 visa cases.